Boom, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Nolan, Hawkeye Anthony here. Coming in with the fresh new hat. Told y'all I was getting it. I showed you guys on the video. I got the camo Iowa Hawkeye hat. It's not hunting style. It's more military style. This hat is sweet. I'm very happy I got this one as opposed to the black and gold one, because the black and gold one, it is hard to go with a lot of things. And I knew that. That's why I didn't get it, because I have the black and gold one. And the reality is that the black and gold kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Now, if the hat is more black than the gold, and the gold is just this part, which it usually is, you can probably do okay with it. All right, we're going to dive into the Iowa Hawkeye prospects for the NFL. I don't know how much I'm going to do right now. I'm probably going to do a little bit and then come back, that sort of thing, because I want to talk about all the guys being drafted, and then I'm probably going to do a podcast on it just to, talk about it. By the way, be sure to go to 247hawkeye.com. Very grateful for your support. If you want to support the show or donate, the link will be in the description for PayPal. Very grateful and thankful for all the support. The biggest thing you can do to support to support me, outside of donating, obviously, is to share. Share the content. And it's very, very much appreciated, more so than I promise you than and so thank you. Also, the best place to find me is Facebook by far, Nolan Hawkeye Anthony, SoundCloud, the NHA podcast, and then obviously 247hawkeye.com. I have Twitter and Parler, but I'm just not that active on Twitter or Parler. I think Twitter sucks. It's really not that fun. It's just a bunch of people. For the most part, I see, well, I'm not going to get into Twitter, but, I just kind of see it as everybody's angriest side, and it's not reality. It's not even close to it. But, all right, guys, we're going to get into the 2021 NFL draft, and there's many, many things to talk about here. I'm not going to talk about the NFL draft, okay, because I want to say this right now. Yeah. I don't really give a dang about the NFL draft. Much like I don't care about recruiting when it comes to Iowa Hawkeye sports very much. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. At the end of the day, I know that 4-star, obviously a 5-star guy, that type of hype is just different. And I know what that hype looks like. I've seen it on I'm the water polo guy, Division I water polo guy who talks football and basketball. And I've seen it in water polo in that community. And it's crazy. But the reality is, and I always try and say this, and Tyler Goodson is the best example because his dad, had a quote that I just loved. By the way, guys, comment, tell me what you think of the hat. Is it sweet or not? The reality is that once the guys leave high school and go to college, no one knows what's going to happen. No one knows, because the truth of the matter is everybody is good enough to play, and some guys will take the information and just soar and go way further than you even thought, because there was a lot in there and you didn't know it. And, Tyler Goodson's dad said, for anybody who thinks that they know that basically their son will, watching them in high school, that they'll be successful in college, you're lying, because you don't know. It's different speed, different size. And he was 100% right about that. All right. So, yeah, I mean, my whole point to saying that is recruiting. I know that as long as Iowa coaches well and gets athletes, they'll be fine. You choose football. Football does not choose, or football chooses you. You don't choose football. And obviously there's correlation between top recruiting classes and good college programs, obviously. And listen, folks, I mean, that's pretty obvious. The further along somebody is in their development, in 1 or 2 years, let's say that a kid is a 5-star, okay? And let's say he's a bust when he gets to college. Well, his bust is still better than a lot of 3-star guys' year of work, because that's how much farther ahead they were. And so that's how it works. The reality is in sports, and I always looked at, and my dad used to always, kind of say it to me like this, you always wanted to stay, compared to where your other people were at, so that you you had the talent. Anyways, all right. Iowa Hawkeye prospects, 2021 NFL draft. Okay. Don't care about the draft. I like the Bears, but I don't get sucked into the draft. To me, really, it's just it's a dude's version of reality television. It's more real than reality television, but it's very similar to reality television. And so, yeah, I don't like recruiting either. But I love the Iowa Hawkeyes, and I love, looking at all the angles. And I'll say this, okay? When Chauncey Golston, and by the way, Chauncey Golston is the first Hawkeye to come off the board this year. He went off the board in the 3rd round, mid-3rd round. I got to say, Kelvin Bell is doing a low-key, dang good job as an Iowa defensive coach. The dude, Reese Morgan was doing a good job, but the reality is, since Kelvin Bell has taken over that spot, the last 4 starting defensive ends have all gone to the NFL. You have Anthony Nelson, who got drafted, I think, 3rd round. You had AJ Epinesa get drafted 2nd round. And then you had Chauncey Golston go in the 3rd round. And obviously, Davion Nixon will go in the 4th or 5th round, I think, and we'll get to him in a second as well. But, when you really think about it, folks, the defensive line at Iowa is as proven lately as any of the spots. If you start on the defensive line for Iowa, you can almost guarantee that you are going to get drafted, which is crazy. Zach Van Valkenburg, because of I think the highest he can go is probably 2nd round, because while he has some upside because he hasn't played Division I and at that level for the same time as other guys, the reality is next year will be his 6th year in college. He will be 18, 19, 24 years old. Okay. A lot of guys will already have played 2 years in the NFL by then. But Zach Van Valkenburg is likely, as long as he has a good season, is likely going to be the 4th straight defensive end, or 4th straight defensive end drafted, and 5th straight defensive end from the Hawkeyes to be in the NFL. And that is impressive, folks. That is impressive. I think it's really impressive. Let's take a look. Look at my 2 subscribers. You got to start somewhere, folks. Got to start somewhere. Let's take a look at Chauncey Golston, and let's see. I think that the secret mic thing the secret audio was really cool. Gosh, what is this?
Thanks, baby. Yeah,
Woo! Yeah, we about to get on in. This is awesome. So cool. He was so nervous. Words were just spilling out of his mouth. And I'm not saying that to make fun. I'm just saying that to put it into perspective. Words were just dripping out. He didn't know what to say. And to even think that you can articulate what it feels like, I mean, you can't. The only thing you can do is sit back and watch, and this is what it is.
I'm calling you about it. We just turned in your card. You're gonna be a Dallas Cowboy.
You're gonna be a Dallas Cowboy.
Cowboy, I love that. That'll be great. That'll be great. Well, I'll tell you, I'm proud for you. It's a great place to see you. You should be proud. You worked hard, but I know your family's gonna be proud of you. But
so cool. So cool. It's just good because, also when it's an Iowa guy, when you're an Iowa fan and you wish that you could give this knowledge to other to other NFL teams sometimes, because I'm not gonna lie, as an Iowa fan, sometimes you're like, dude, trust me, just draft him. You're gonna get a productive guy. I'm telling you, I know this for a fact. It's just it is so. I know looking at this that Dallas will get a guy that will give them some production, at least at the very minimum, some production on the defensive line. Won't cause them issues. Will be a good teammate and all of that.
We're excited that you're going to be a Dallas Cowboy. Thank you. Appreciate the call. Okay, wait. Hey, don't leave me. Hey, don't leave me. You gone? Hey.
His family is so stoked. Now the real work begins. Who to get off your coattail and who to keep on that coattail. I mean, that is crazy. I remember talking to Cavante Martin Manley about that. That's the reason why two-star clothing didn't work. It is what it is. Some of y'all will look at that and say, dude, how can you even talk about that? Folks, I mean, it's done. It's public now. The reality is you don't go into things thinking that people can screw you. That's not a good way to think. And unfortunately people do. Now will be the interesting part. What I like for Chauncey is that Dallas is a good ways away from Detroit. Okay. And a good ways away from, well, maybe not a good ways away, but it's still some distance between Iowa and Dallas. I mean, that's at least, that's a full day's drive. I know that. I used to drive a truck. Okay. It's easily a full day's drive from Iowa to Dallas, or Frisco, whatever. So from that perspective, good for him. By the way, guys, I'm probably going to have my partner Dean on. I just kind of wanted to hop on and do a little bit of this, no issues, none of that. It's just, quite frankly, me being selfish. That's all.
I'm not going. Okay, well, don't be gone.
I'm not going to hang up. Hell no.
Don't be gone.
You hear Jerry Jones. Don't be gone. Don't be gone. I don't even know what the heck that means.
But here's your head coach. Thank you. Chauncey, congratulations. Thank you. Hey, appreciate the call. Awesome. Hey, enjoy this special moment with your family and friends. And I'll tell you how excited you are to make you part of this.
I'm also, on a side note, this hat is too perfect a fit. Meaning that it fits on my head perfect. And I like things to fit tight sometimes. Okay. If I were to go a size smaller, it'd be too tight. Couldn't do it. So yeah, I just want to say that.
This is a phenomenal opportunity for me. I'm more than excited, more than ready to come in and work. All right, man.
That's cool. That's so cool, man. It really is, just the dream coming true. The dream coming true. And it's crazy, it is. And I'm happy. As an Iowa fan, and if any Dallas Cowboy fans end up hearing this, you're getting a good player. Anthony Hitchens came in and gave you guys solid. That's probably your guys' most consistent linebacker in years was Anthony Hitchens. If you really think about it, was he perfect or all pro? No, but he didn't get injured and he was very consistent. And that's what you're going to get in Golston, and who knows, you may get more than that. And by the way, Hitchens gone to the Super Bowl twice since he left y'all. So, but Golston, you maybe get more. You guys are getting a guy that I'm telling you will be productive. Will he be the most productive? I don't know. We'll see. But he'll be productive. So it's cool. By the way, I do not know at the time of doing this, who else has been drafted for the Hawkeyes. Okay. If anybody's been drafted, I don't know. So we're looking at it together. One thing I'll say, and I think, and
real empathy says, I see you.
And maybe it's not quite time to leave from Golston. Oh, and by the way, I'm not surprised Golston was the first. Okay, I'm surprised a little bit because all the hype going into this was that Nixon not only was going to be the first Hawkeye taken, but he was going to be taken in the first round. And, it's crazy how the NFL draft works. It is such a process. And to me, it's so crazy how you can have an original set of guys after a season is done. And then 2 months later, that list is shatteringly different. I don't even know how that happens, because if you have a list right after a season, to me, that's the most truthful top guys that there is, because it's based on production. The NFL draft, a lot of it, if you really think about it, a good portion, I would say at least 30% comes from the production. Obviously, at the very minimum, 30% comes from what you did in college, your production. Okay, that I think your production gets your foot in the door. At the bare minimum, that's and it could be more than that, but at the bare minimum, that's what I'll say it is. And then also, outside of that, I think once the season is done, there is a whole extra season, if you will, where you're competing with other guys for the draft spots. So, in other words, your production is what it is. And once the season's done, it's competition to see where you can jockey for position there. I don't really know what else to call it, but a competition, which is crazy because it's just like, dude, the production was the production, And, Davion Nixon didn't blow people out of the water. Does it mean he did bad? No, but he did not blow people out of the water, okay? Unfortunately, that's the truth. Iowa State, dang. Iowa State. Who is this guy? Iowa State has 2 running backs in the NFL right now. It's going to be hard. And Iowa is in on a running back. I don't even know who this guy is. Iowa is in on a running back. In the main competition is Iowa State. I just don't the one position that Iowa State is beating Iowa is running back and slightly quarterback, but it's not. Well, I don't even think I can stay quarterback. To be honest, I can't. That's not the truth, because the reality is CJ Beathard, Nate Stanley have been drafted. All Iowa State has is Brock Purdy, who hasn't even been drafted yet. So round 7 draft projection. Elite testing numbers for a running back. Let's take a look at this, because I'm shocked right now. I'm shocked. Height, weight, and speed all work in his favor. But when the ball is in his hands, there just isn't much about his running style that feels natural. No, Nwangwu, I think, has open field speed to hit a crease and go, but he's often indecisive with the ball in his hands, as he lacks a runner's instinct and fails to anticipate run lane development. Iowa State has had a lot of turnover at running backs coach during his time there. I didn't know that. So consistency could bring more growth as a runner. His special teams talent, explosive traits, and ability to protect the passer could help move him into the draftable position on day 3 as a RB4. He went in the 4th round. I have never heard of this dude. This is what I'm talking about. Is you have college production, and then you have the competition after the season, which is the time. It's a competition between the end of the season to draft night. It's competition that is pretty much separate. And it's crazy. I have no idea who this guy, and I'm not just trying to rip on it because he's an Iowa State guy. I have no idea who he is. Iowa's top running back last year, or Iowa State's top running back last year was, I'm blanking on his name. Let's take a look, though. Let's look at their stats. They went 9-3. Iowa went 6-2. Likely would have finished 8-2. No guarantee, but it likely. All right. 19 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Pretty good. Breece Hall. Nwangwu only had 339 yards in 12 games. That's nothing. Elite testing numbers. I got to see this. Let's look at his. It bothers me because here's why it bothers me. Number one, because of the competition that is from the end of the draft to draft day. And then also, if an Iowa State guy is going to get drafted, I want him to earn it like Iowa guys do. This guy hasn't earned shite. Look at his stats. Nothing. Dude has 22 yards receiving. I don't even understand that. That makes 0 sense to me. None. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, look at Iowa here. In 8 games, Mekhi Sargent had 432 yards. That's what I'm saying. It's just not even close. In 12 games, that guy had less. Wow. That is crazy. That's crazy, dude. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I want to see who else. By the way, guys, I'm an Iowa Hawkeye fan, obviously. I gotta take the bed that's in here and change it into a smaller bedroom. This is my guest house, the guest room. Just, I don't need all that. It just takes up too much room. This is likely going to be the only guy that gets drafted. I am shocked the Vikings took this guy. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. We'll see. We will see. Let's see if this guy is likely to get drafted. See, this is the difference between Iowa and Iowa State, okay? This is not a down year for Iowa, and I wouldn't say it's an up year as far as the draft goes or how Iowa did in the season. They finished 15th in the country, but it's not one of their best seasons. And they're likely going to have at least 3 guys drafted, at minimum 3. Iowa State is lucky they got 1. They're lucky they got 1. And that is a difference. 5'6". Let's see here. That's a chance to make a roster, practice squad. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at Iowa now. And guys, I haven't seen this since probably when I started this video. At the time I started this video, which was probably 9:50, the only guy that was drafted was Chauncey Golston for the Hawkeyes. So let's see. Still, wow, that's crazy to me. I am surprised that Davion Nixon is not off the board yet. I am surprised by that. Wow. Huh. Wow, that's surprising me. Listen, folks, and so, okay, this is the point that I was making, which is that the Vikings are dumb. No. Point that I was making is that the draft is not perfect, but the NFL is a meritocracy. And if you're good enough to play, you will play. Believe me, you'll make a team. That's why I love it. It is not surprising to me that Davion Nixon has not been drafted yet, because the reality is he did not overly impress. He didn't do anything to hurt himself. His 40 was okay. For a defensive tackle, it wasn't tops. It was right in the middle. His testing numbers were right in the middle. He didn't have, he hasn't had an arrest or he's not a bad guy. He just didn't. He played it safe. Chauncey Golston went to the Senior Bowl. He decided, and I'm gonna show the video when Golston went to the Senior Bowl, there were 8 defensive ends, and he decided, and he talked to Iowa defensive line coach Kelvin Bell to slide inside to get more reps. That's smart. Because the reality is, if you're a good football player, you can play anywhere. You just need a chance to show it. All right, I'm trying to find. All right, I think this is it.
Tonight, I'll be eating a pork banh mi with extra. Thanks, baby.
Can you say that again? I'm opening up for questions. Go ahead, guys.
No, that's not it. Oh, this is it.
But we do have Chauncey Golston on the line, edge rusher out of Iowa, newest Dallas Cowboy. Chauncey, first off, congratulations. Just kind of explain what this moment is like for you.
This is, oh my God, life-changing moment right here. I don't even know how to, it's kind of hard. I can put it into words. Really just grateful. Really grateful, man.
Hey, congrats, Chauncey. We heard the secret audio of you talking to Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy. It sounded like you almost hung up on Jerry. Were you just like trying to go, party with your family? What
No, it wasn't that I was about to hang up. It was just like I was lost for words. I'm like, I trained down there in Dallas.
Listen to Chauncey. It's so funny. I was like, he's really throwing that black accent in there, even though you can tell that's not how Chauncey is all the time. But I was like
for my pro day training, and I've seen a lot of commercials with Jerry Jones on it, and just to hear him on the phone, I was lost for words. So I wasn't about to hang up. I just didn't know what to say, honestly.
Hey, Chauncey, we saw you down there at the Senior Bowl and get some opportunities. Can you talk about that experience for you and how it helped you? You're getting in front of those eyes, the scouts, the coaches, GMs, and stuff. Talk about your Senior Bowl experience and how it helped you there.
Okay, so this is how it went. So our very first day of position meetings, I saw that there was 9 defensive ends and 2 defensive tackles, and I'm like, these are all really good players. I could fight for a few reps at end, or I can get maximal exposure at defensive tackles. So, I went in there, told my D-line coach at Iowa, Coach Kelvin Bell, that I'm going to be taking a lot of reps at defensive tackle to get in front of as many coaches as I possibly could. And, I guess it paid off right now. So.
What was your contact
cool.
like with the Cowboys? Did
That's
you
really
know
cool.
that this possibility was out there?
I didn't know, honestly, and I was just ready to give my all to whatever team drafted me.
Where do you think your role's going to be in this defense here? If you had to guess, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk with your defensive coordinator yet, but just in your thought process and what you know about the Cowboys, where do you think you'll fit in?
I'm trying to provide wherever I can, honestly, wherever I can, no matter inside, outside, wherever they need me, I'm there for it.
But damn it, Chauncey, you sound like a perfect teammate. I'm excited that you're a Cowboy. Congratulations. Hey, Chauncey, just at a kind of a stab in the there. You went to Cass Tech in Detroit, right?
No, I got that wrong. I'm so sorry.
No, but
He went to East English Village.
Jordan Lewis.
That's actually why I brought it up. I knew Jordan went to Cass. I was wondering if you know him. That's all.
Nah. He went to Cass. I went to East English.
Is there a rivalry between those two?
Yeah. It used to be something like that. So, but that's high school stuff.
Do you know Jordan at all? I guess that's the main reason I asked. I'm just wondering if.
No, we don't have a personal relationship, but I know of him. I try to keep up with any guy that makes it out of the city.
Absolutely. Well, I have a feeling you'll be meeting him before too long. So welcome aboard, man. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you taking some time with us, Chauncey. Go celebrate. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you here in Frisco.
Thank you.
Awesome. Really, really cool. I am shocked. Okay. First and foremost, as you heard from Chauncey, he took, listen, Chauncey was not, to me, when the season was over, I was like, Golston is a guaranteed draft pick. The dude has had production since his sophomore year. He was in the rotation as a sophomore, starting as a junior and a senior. That's at Iowa, that's phenomenal. Okay. But the point is, there were some places that had him as a 6th or 7th round pick. He put himself out there. He did not have to take reps at defensive tackle and risk embarrassing himself, and he did, and it worked out. Davion Nixon, on the other hand, we only saw him at Iowa's Pro Day, and quite frankly, he didn't show out. Let's look at Iowa's Pro Day results. It bothers me so much. Iowa could easily do so much better in recruiting. And again, I think recruiting matters. It does. By the way, I am frustrated that Cleveland takes a guy, with the Ohio State name because he's got the Ohio State name, as opposed to Ian Brook out of Sacramento. Knows families are close. Good for him. Out of Sacramento, going to the Saints, going to be behind Drew Brees. That's pretty effing cool. Listen, I'm mad. Listen, Davion Nixon was considered the top defensive tackle when the season was done. And then all of a sudden, as it progressed, he just kept sliding back for whatever reason. And I don't think that that's accurate that he slid back. I think it's possible that Amir Smith Marcette gets drafted before Davion Nixon. All right. Back to I need to finish my trains of thought. The reality is, all Iowa would have to do is take somebody from the broadcasting class or whatever, journalism class, whatever, and say, we have to see it first before you put it out. We have to say yes to it. But just give more content. Why is your pro day not videotaped, Iowa? Come on. By the way, go to 247hawkeye.com. My website is growing by the day. Obviously, I'm giving love to this website right now. But I'm so thankful for your guys' stuff. Listen, as you can see, I have my degrees. I play Division I water polo. I know sports. What I'm trying to say is I don't mind writing. I don't love it. I didn't go to journalism school. Not that I think that really matters. I like making content like this. I'm better at this. Okay. Interesting. By the way, Iowa's open practices today. I haven't even talked about that. Yeah, Amir Smith, Marcette, he didn't the 40-yard dash, but 37-inch vert, 10 reps for his size, 6'1", pretty good. Nick Nieman, in my opinion, stole the show. I mean, just look at this. Look at what Iowa does. And if, in my opinion, they just put their program out there more so that recruits that, are obviously young could just look them up better with more content and say, that's Iowa? Wow, damn, what they do is impressive. They're ranked what? Since 2015 and putting guys in the NFL? They have how many guys in the NFL? I mean, let's look at this. Illinois actually has a decent amount of guys in the NFL. Look at that. Just look at how many guys Iowa has. 1, 2, 3. I think it's 32. And these are guys that are on teams, like on teams. Okay. Beathard will either, he'll sit behind Lawrence, but I something tells me he's going to get a shot. Balaga is a starter. Daniels is a starter, but he's getting kind of old. Blythe is a starter. He earned his contract, folks. I'll take a look at that. What happened there? I mean, he did good for the Chargers. But I think he got injured. He'll probably start for the Chiefs at center. Look at how many guys Iowa has in the NFL. Noah Fant, AJ, all these guys play. Carl Davis doesn't play much. But all these guys play. I think Parker Hesse is practice squad. We'll see what happens there. But all these guys play. All right. Let's go back to Chauncey Golston because Davion Nixon, because this is surprising. It is. He ran a 4.940, which isn't phenomenal, but it's not bad. Came in at 6'3", which is pretty good. 313 pounds, pretty good. 28.5-inch vert. You would have liked it to be in the 30s, but not terrible. But just, what you can say about Nixon in his pro day isn't that he made him some money. His production did that. He just didn't show out. And like I said, it's a competition. It's a performance after the season is done. From the season to the NFL draft, it's a performance / competition. Look at Golston. Ran a sub 4.8, 36-inch vert. So that shows he's explosive. 22 bench reps. Not sure how many Nixon put up. So, all right, we'll see if it's changed. Probably going to stop right here. Again, congrats to Golston. Congrats to the Iowa defensive line. I think that the defensive line is up there for Iowa with right now with the offensive line. Iowa has been doing a phenomenal job and that's why since 2015 Iowa has been dominant, because on both lines, they offensive and defensive, they have reloaded every year. You know, Tristan Wirfs was a day one starter for the Buccaneers. Alaric Jackson will likely get drafted somewhere. You know, if you play on the O-line or D-line for Iowa, you are guaranteed to get a strong NFL look, if not likely get drafted. I would put cornerback and tight end up there as well. If you started Iowa at cornerback or tight end, there's a good shot you're going to play in the NFL. Linebacker, if I had to rank it right now, I would probably have to put the D-line first for Iowa, just because of the success lately has been that good. It has been, in my opinion, it has been, and I'm going to put this on Facebook, it has been, gosh darn it. It has been undervalued how good they have been on the defensive line. Still, wow. Would not shock me if the Cowboys took took another Iowa prospect. That would not shock me in the least. Let's put something on Facebook. Why does it do that? Let's keep that up there. Why not? Should put defensive ends, because to be honest, it's the defensive ends that have been dominant for Iowa. All right, I'm probably going to pause it here because listen, pause it here and then come back because I got stuff I got to do. Well done for Chauncey Golston. Truly, you know, really good for him. It is surprising Davion Nixon is not off the board yet. That is surprising to me, but you know, it is what it is. Very happy for Chauncey Golston. We'll see what happens with Nixon, where he gets taken. For me, what will be exciting is when a wide receiver gets drafted for Iowa, because folks that don't know Iowa, guys, Iowa hasn't been good at wide receiver since 2009. They have been very, very average at that position. So we shall see. I'll take one more look, see if Golston comes off the board before I pause this, and then we come back. Likely going to have my partner on with me. Yeah, we'll go from there, folks. I'm going to pause it here, and we will come back. Again, be sure to go to 247hawkeye.com. Best place to follow me is Facebook, Nolan Hawkeye Anthony. If you want to support the show, support the website, you can donate. I'll put the link in the description. I'm going to pause this. This is going to be a continuation type video, and I will see you guys a little bit later. All right, guys, I'm back. You know, to me, it seems like a long time. To you guys, I don't even know. I'll see in the video how big of a difference it is or not. What's up, guys? Let's talk. Let's get back into it. Iowa Hawkeyes being drafted. I don't know if I'm going to keep the earbuds in. We'll see on that. Listen, as I've been saying, you know, the draft is a performance, in a competition. How you perform, okay? How you perform in your years in college, to me, is like, it's like the foot in the door or the frosting on the cupcake. But it's not the entire cupcake. It's not even maybe what you like the best, but it's part of it. And I hope that that kind of makes sense. You know, because the perfect example is Davion Nixon, not really doing anything wrong, being a top tier talent, but just not really doing anything to help him once the next competition started. And he got left behind. He got kind of forgotten, you know, but it is what it is. Okay. Couple hours later, I'm back. I know Davion Nixon has been selected. Amir, and the first wide receiver since Marvin McNutt, it's a freaking hilarious last name, McNutt, is drafted. And this is the highest wide receiver draft pick for the Hawkeyes in years. I mean, I don't even know. I know McNutt got drafted, and then after that, I have no idea. Or before that, I have no clue when it comes to, you know, I think Amir Smith Marcette is the highest drafted wide receiver for the Iowa Hawkeyes since probably the early 2000s for the Hawkeyes. Outside of that, I don't really see anybody. You know what? Let's take a look. Okay. Let's take a look. And you know what? Brandon Smith may get drafted too. You know what? Let's just type in Iowa wide receiver drafted. Ah, gosh darn it. I'm happy Amir Smith Marcette went to the Vikings. I didn't even know that beforehand. Yeah, I'm gonna have to type in like 2000. I believe It's the highest since Tim Dwight. Truthfully. And that's been a while. Guys, I'm telling you, as an Iowa fan, Iowa has been average at the wide receiver position. You know, their slot guys have been decent, but they have never been game changers. At most, they've been, you know, helpful players, not game changers, though. One time, I would say against Mississippi State, Nick Easley, guys, their top 3 wide receivers outside of Davion Smith were Nick Easley, a walk-on, Matt Vandenberg, a gray shirt offer, not even a true, well, actually a gray shirt offer is a true scholarship offer. A gray shirt offer is when a guy goes to a school and he doesn't travel with them. He basically uses that gray shirt, aka red shirt year, to get bigger. And Riley McCarron. Riley McCarron was a walk-on as well. 2 of the guys were walk-ons. All right. Let's see if this has it. Kevin Casper, round 6. And Amir Smith Marcette went above him. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it on Facebook and see what's up. I'm very happy. I'm happy for Kelton Copeland. I'm happy for Iowa. That this happened. Very, very happy. Very happy for them. Iowa, Kelton, Copeland. And Vikings fans, if you watch this, I'll tell you what you're getting, as well as, you know, I believe it's the Panthers for Davion Nixon. You know, what you're getting. I think, you know, the Panthers, you guys got a starter or a guy that's going to contribute right away in the 5th round. All right, let's take a look again. Good for Amir Smith Marcette. It is pretty crazy to me that Amir Smith Marcette went before Alaric Jackson. Guys, Alaric Jackson was a starter for the Iowa offensive line for 4 years. I'm going to have to pause this because I'm actually cooking some meat right now. Cooking some meat. Resuming recording here for a second. Listen, right off the bat, let's, I don't know who to start with. Amir Smith Marcette. You know what? Amir Smith Marcette went before Davion Nixon. I said that. I said I would not be surprised if Amir Smith Marcette got drafted before Davion Nixon. I said that. Okay. Let's talk about Amir Smith Marcette first. Right off the bat, okay, Vikings fans, you guys are getting a guy that will be your starting return man, and will be electric in the return game. Well, I don't know if electric is the word, but productive in the return game on day 1. That's what you're getting right away, right off the bat. As a wide receiver, listen, guys, I don't know the wide receiver position well. Listen, I'm a former Division I water polo player that knows basketball and football, okay, or talks to that. What I know is athleticism and IQ. Well, this is going to take a little bit longer to discuss. So, Listen, I don't know where I left off, but I'll just jump right back into it for Amir Smith Marcette. And this is what I was thinking about when I stepped away. So right away, Vikings, from day one, in a 5th round pick, you're getting a guy that will help you in the return game. As a wide receiver, okay, listen, against USC, against Wisconsin, top tier programs, Wisconsin, one of the best known defenses. Amir Smith Marcette went off in the passing game. My point is that against solid opponents, Amir Smith Marcette as a wide receiver has shown up. Now, my take on him as a wide receiver, okay? And again, I'm prefacing this with I don't know how solid I don't know the position that well, okay? To me, the 2 hardest positions to judge in football are safeties and wide receivers. In my opinion, okay, Amir Smith Marcette is very smooth. He's a fluid athlete. I don't think he has above average hands or anything like that. Okay. In fairness, I don't think he has poor hands, but I don't think he's a guy that catches everything thrown his way. In fact, I know he's not. What else? Whoops. Very electric, can stretch the field. He can play the slot more than likely at the next level. Did he ever show that he could take over the game as a wide receiver? No. Do I see that he could potentially become that in the NFL? Maybe. I think it's possible. He has the athletic ability, no doubt. Is it likely? No. I think Amir Smith Marcette is a production guy. He will give you production in more areas than one. He was productive for Iowa in the run game, in the pass game. He made plays. Now, was he dominant at pure wide receiver? No. Was he good at times? Yes. I'm just being honest, even as an Iowa fan. Okay. Was some of it the Iowa offense? I don't know. Maybe, probably. In fairness, in Minnesota, this is good for you guys. Okay. Iowa runs a pro-style offense, meaning the wide receivers have to block. Okay. Meaning Amir Smith Marcette will know what to do instinctually in the Minnesota Viking offense right away. Maybe not right away, but yeah, I know what I mean. Sorry about. So listen, that's my assessment of Amir Smith Marcette. He did have the DUI, which was not great. Listen, I'll say this. I firsthand know I'm not that as a young man, how easily just a dumb mistake can everybody. Well, okay, I'm not going to say that everybody does it. I don't even care about that. But listen, a mistake can be made for a young man like that. Okay. Whether they're usually a good man or, they're in the wrong circles. Amir Smith Marcette, I'm not sure if he got hit with the DUI. I think he did. He also got hit with he was going 80 miles an hour in a 20 mile an hour zone. Okay, that is not good. That's not good. I mean, that's pedestrians in there. However, and there were times that the Iowa coaching staff would call out Amir Smith Marcette, not really like crazy blatantly, but they would say, we want more out of him. We can get more. And I'll say, as a fan who knows athletic ability, in my eyes, Amir Smith Marcette had the athletic ability But I didn't know how hard he was working behind the scenes. Sometimes from what we heard, it seemed that he was doing good. At other times, he wasn't working as hard as the coaches liked. Okay. But what you are going to get, okay, the dumb mistake, I don't think is Amir Smith Marcette. He does. I don't think that's him. Okay. Obviously, he's capable of doing it. He did that. Amir Smith Marcette can block. He's aggressive. He's competitive. He can help you in the return game. I like it. I like it. To be honest, I'm actually surprised he went so high in the 5th round. He went before D. Nixon. You guys are getting a speedster. I think you're getting a lot of value for the pick. And I think you're getting a guy who likes to win, is a good teammate. The guy was a starter for Iowa for 3.5 years. There's some things that aren't great. Listen, I haven't even read his report. Let's read his scouting report, okay? A 5.85, okay? A 5.85 is backup size special teams. I can see that. All right. Weaknesses. Lacks base. What is this? Get this nonsense out of here. Get it out of here. Okay. Screw it. Lacks base strength to fight off route contact. So what that tells me is that wide receivers can get physical with him, and he's not overly strong to compensate with that. That's fair. I mean, ISM is a speedster. Small deceleration coming out of route stem. Okay, I don't even really know what that means, to be honest. Long, skinny legs are slower to change direction, meaning quickness. Doesn't have short area wiggle to elude traffic and routes. Disagree with that completely. In my opinion, the how Amir Smith Marcette did in the kicking game, and we're going to show some highlights. How he did in the kicking game. What is this? How he did in the kicking game, in the run game, in my opinion, showed that in tight spaces, he was elusive. Not could be, he was. Okay? So I disagree with that. Inconsistent working back to the ball. I would probably agree with that. There were not, in the Iowa offense, there were not many times that when the play got extended that Amir Smith Marcette was the guy to get open when the play was extended. He wasn't, I don't really remember that. Below average when tracking and fighting for football. Listen, on that one, my opinion is that it could be correct. I definitely think with the 37-inch vertical, Amir Smith Marcette has the capability. I'm going to need to see the highlights again. Catch radius and hands are both below average. Maybe he's 6'1". He's a slender 6'1". I'm trying to think of a wide receiver that he reminds me of. Antonio Brown. That's what he reminds me of. Used on jet sweeps, but usually only gets what is blocked. I disagree with that. Okay, strength. Has potential to operate as a gadget guy. Agreed. Created yards and touchdowns from a variety of looks. Yeah, that kind of goes against what you said with used on jet sweeps, but only gets what is blocked. So he, plants and cuts with good sharpness. Used out and up as leverage mechanism to open deep ball. Deep speed builds additional cushion underneath. Possesses decent after the catch talent. I think I would say maybe decent is the correct word. I would have used above average. I wouldn't say elite. I would say good. Talented kick returner with 28.7 career average and 2 touchdowns. Follows play design and makes good open field reads. I'll also say this, folks, for Minnesota fans. There's a lot of upside with Amir Smith Marcette. He came to Iowa, and it's just crazy. If you look at all the guys that have been drafted, Davion Nixon, Alabama saw the talent in him, but so did Iowa, but he went to Iowa Western. Wisconsin didn't even see the talent. He was a 3-star guy. Amir Smith Marcette was a 2-star guy. Chauncey Golston, 3-star guy. Wasn't even the most talented guy to come out of his school. Iowa got 2 guys out of his school, Cedric Lattimore and Chauncey Golston. Cedric Lattimore was ranked higher. All right, let's look at some of his highlights. It makes sense Chauncey Golston was the first off the board. I mean, Iowa fans, listen, Chauncey was a starter for 2 years and a big-time contributor for 3. He produced all the time. It makes sense. Let's see if we can find some. Yeah, let's just watch some of the top plays from him. Okay, let's do that. And then, all right, let's see if because I don't know how this works as far as sound goes.
And Stanley taking the shot, goes again to Smith Marcette.
And you see Avery Young in coverage going against Smith Marcette. Smith Marcette runs a nice corner route, nice stick at the top, goes up, high points the ball, catches it at its highest point.
Let's watch a couple minutes of this.
One of the real difficulties protecting Stanley over the last 2 weeks, surrendering 10 sacks. Smith Marcette sidesteps 1 tackle and 2 and almost a third.
For each other. You see Smith Marcette just takes that little swing bubble pass. He gets also a good block from his wide receiver.
First, of course, going half the distance, and the second one taking the ball out to the 22.
All right, Mike Stanley on time and on target. Smith Marcette first down to the 43.
This is as difficult a throw as you're going to make. That is 1 hash on a deep out route in the tight coverage.
Yeah, by the way, Vikings fans, I think Stanley might actually end up being your guy, to be honest. A lot of upside there.
Where you get 1 spot. That's called a big boy throw. When this team needed it, you couldn't put it in a better spot.
Shirt senior Render having a breakout year. Second and a mile, Stanley to air it out. He's got Smith Marcette, who makes a terrific over-the-shoulder catch.
What a grab. What a grab. The corner to that side, who is starting his first game of the season, was to complete that pass. That's an excellent quarterback.
And by the way, okay, Vikings fans, and then we'll go to Nixon. Spencer Petrus here. This was his first year as a starting quarterback without spring or anything like that. And in my opinion, Smith Marcette, even though I thought the wide receivers were going to be way more explosive in this year, which was last year, I think he actually did pretty good with everything considered. And this is against Wisconsin here.
Got the coverage. Look, it's off coverage is man.
Woo! Turned him around.
Create a separation. As big an arm as Petrus has, he needed to put a little bit more on that. Otherwise, it's a touchdown. You know, he does. Unbelievable hands and concentration to complete the play.
Let's watch two more.
Four-man rush for Illinois. Stanley to the air. Smith Marcette for the leaping grab and a first down to the 42.
You watch Smith Marcette. He's on the outside, number 6. Okay. So they're going to play. You want him to go inside, which is where he went.
He is very explosive, people. And these are all wide receiver highlights. This is not even in the return game where he really helped Iowa many times over.
Here's Stanley throwing deep for an open
All right. So you see what he's capable of, all right? Let's see what some of the Vikings fans think. I don't really care. Let's find the one that has a lot of views. Screw it. Let's. You know what? I'll take this kid. He's a lucky. Well, who do I take? You know what? Screw it. Let's take Jackson here.
Commercial-free country at 7:30 noon.
See what he has to say. Of course. Of course.
Marcette to the Minnesota Vikings. In my opinion, the Vikings continue to have a very good draft, getting really good value sort of later in this draft, and I think making smart picks. And they could have really used a third wide receiver. I mean, Chad Beebe had a moment or two, but as a whole, getting a third receiver is vital. And actually, what's interesting about Smith Marcette is he's probably the only guy left that I really trust to win on the outside with some consistency. I'm not saying he'll do it too much, but he can. So, you know, you can have sort of a situation where you can put Jefferson in the slot if you want and have him play on the outside, which is kind of deadly. And I'm not sure anyone else would give you that luxury. And I also just think that this is it's a great value pick. You know, they do need, I think a lot of people talk about how in the analytics community, they say that typically what's more important than having just two really good receivers is you need that third receiver. You want to have three options. And, you know, obviously to have Adam Thielen, to have Jefferson. So getting that third receiver in Smith Marcette makes a lot of sense. And, you know, it'll be a lot of weapons for Kellen Mond to throw to. No, I'm a little bit kidding, a little bit serious because I like Kellen Mond, but
I don't listen, Viking fans. I'm telling you, Stanley's a good but I don't know. Maybe you guys are going away from him. Maybe you're going away from Browning. Stanley was a starter for the Hawkeyes for 3 years, and that's a big deal in my opinion. All right, that's what he thinks. Okay, I think it's big time, and I'm happy for Iowa. I'm happy for Kelton Copeland. Iowa fans should be thrilled. You know, I think it's great. I think it is great all around. This is where it's interesting, and we're going to get into Davion Nixon, Davion Nixon. You know, a little bit drafted right after Amir Smith Marcette. I think that's happened, you know, a few times actually for the Hawkeyes. It's been one Hawkeye and then another. This is where it gets interesting. Does Iowa get a four? I think it's likely they're going to get a fourth guy drafted, whether it's Alaric Jackson, Nick Nieman, or Sean Byer. I think Alaric Jackson is the most likely. But I wouldn't be shocked if Sean Byer or Nick Nieman or both got drafted, quite frankly. This is where it gets interesting. I think Iowa definitely gets four guys drafted. Maybe five. Let's see Davion Nixon. Let's see what people think on Davion Nixon. Listen, Panther fans, quite frankly, Nixon, the defensive player of the year in the Big Ten, I think you're getting quite a lot there. It's kind of shocking that he actually went. It's not shocking, but you guys got a guy who easily could have been drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round in the 5th. Don't really see a lot from Carolina on him. Let's watch this.
What if one piece of equipment could change everything about how you work out? Meet the Mirror, the first smart gym that...
Yeah, I don't really see a lot of commentary, so I'll just, talk about it. I think it's massive. He had the highest grade for the Hawkeyes. Like I said, easily could have been taken in the 2nd or 3rd round. I think the reason why he dropped is, after his really, really solid one, not just solid, fantastic one season, okay, he didn't necessarily show out. And so he dropped. There might be other things, I don't know. But in my opinion, you guys got a guaranteed guy who's going to give you production, plain and simple. So, good on you guys. As for Iowa, guys, we have 3 guys drafted. It's phenomenal. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not shocked that Golston was the first guy off. It could have easily been Nixon. He slid. I think I know why. I've said it many times. After the draft, it's a performance. Golston did well in his performance. Nixon was average. And so, he dropped. But I think, he's definitely going to help out the Panthers. I one of my buddies said that he should have came back to Iowa. Maybe, had he come back to Iowa for this next season, would he have moved himself to the 3rd or 2nd or 1st round? I think it's very possible. I do. But it is what it is. It's done now, I'll say this. When Nixon came out, his stock was very, very high. And so I don't really see a problem with him coming out. I really don't. Would it have been more of a guarantee had he come back for another season and been solid, kind of like Jaleel Johnson? Yeah. But, Jaleel Johnson, for what it's worth, never had a season like Davion Nixon. I'm going to look that up real quick, actually. Because Johnson may have won. Whoops. The fact of the matter is, okay, so he's a first team all Big Ten. Davion Nixon won the best defensive player in the Big Ten, and that's saying something. It really is. And so I don't care about this from the Panthers' perspective. I care about this from the Iowa perspective. It stinks that Iowa, wasn't able to have a 3rd year in a row with a guy taken in the 1st round. It was 2 years in a row. Tristan Wirfs, Noah Fant, TJ Hawkinson, and a few guys, obviously went in the 2nd round. for Iowa, you know, but I do want to go back to 2016 and count how many guys have been drafted for the Iowa Hawkeyes. I mean, look at this. Unanimous All-American, Nagurski Wooden Defense Player of the Year, first team All Big Ten. He dominated. So, yeah, I'm going to type in 2016 Hawkeyes. Well, maybe it's on this. Yeah, it could be on this. So let's go back to 2016. See how many guys have been drafted. Austin Blythe got drafted. That's one. Desmond King, 2. Jaleel Johnson, 3. George Kittle, 4. CJ Beathard, 5. Greg Maben, I don't remember if he got drafted. I don't think he did. Yeah, I don't think he got drafted. So that's 5 guys. Well, technically it's 8. I know that for a fact now counting it. 6, 7, 8. 8 guys. And Sean Welsh, in my opinion, easily could have been drafted. Nine, 10, 11, 12. Jeez. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 20 guys have been drafted for the Hawkeyes since 2016. That is incredible, guys. That is incredible. It really is. I'm going to type that up. 20 guys, I believe. I could get it, you know, since 2016, Iowa has had 20 guys drafted currently. Could be more by end of day. All right. I'm going to pause it. This is what I'm going to say before I bounce and pause it. And then, you know, I'll probably, if other guys get drafted, but I'll definitely end it either way. Iowa fans, this is amazing. It really, truly is. As an Iowa fan, you should be absolutely stoked about what's going on. 20 guys have been drafted. 3 guys off the top of my head that have went in the first round since 2016. I cannot remember a better time to be an Iowa fan than right now. Things are going incredible. While I'm on this, I'm going to look at Iowa women's soccer, see what happened there. They lost to number 3 UCLA. That's too bad. So, all right, guys. This is incredible. I was currently happy for everybody that's been drafted. Obviously, a little surprising, not crazy, shocking, but you know, Nixon falling the way he did is a little surprising. So yeah, let's see where it is at right now. The picks, again, I believe we're still in round 5. As Iowa fans, you should be absolutely stoked. Yeah, still in the 5th round. Should be stoked. I will wrap this up when the draft is done. And I'm going to pause this now. Iowa fans should be absolutely stoked about what's going on. I shall be back. What's up, Iowa Hawkeye fans? I thought about coming back and concluding this video like I had never left, surprising y'all, and making it seem as though nothing was awry, so to speak. But you know what? I don't really care. And I wanted to ask you guys what you guys think of this colorful Ralph Lauren sweatshirt. Obviously, it's getting to the point where it's too hot. But if some of y'all think this looks good, let me know. When it comes to, and by the way, I am wrapping up on Iowa Hawkeyes 2021 draft picks. Giving my final thoughts. I think I've pretty much said everything to this point. So there's really only closing remarks. When it comes to fashion, okay, and let's pull up the guys who got drafted for the Hawkeyes. I tend to be someone who thinks that you need to have blasphemous or outrageous color in your palette, because it makes you seem interesting a little bit, or you need to wear the normal black, white, and gray colors and just be sharp, not sagging your stuff. Everything fits properly and be sharp. That's where I tend to be on clothing, and I tend to think you should dress your age. I'm already to the point, and I'm only 26, where I think that even wearing this might be too much for a 26-year-old. So, all right. The Iowa Hawkeyes, 2021 draft. Since 2016, Iowa has had 21 guys drafted. And easily, it could be more, in my opinion. Not like a ton more, but three or four guys more. There are now 36 guys officially in the league. And it's incredible. It's incredible. On this specific draft, on the 2021, and by the way, on the Iowa Hawkeyes, this should abundantly tell you where the University of Iowa football program is as a whole and where it has been since that 12-2 2015 season. Iowa has been on a incline that, quite frankly, the only thing it's missing has been a Big Ten, another Big Ten appearance, and possibly title. That's really it. So this is incredible. I can't stress that enough. Now, specifically the four guys that got drafted and the potential draft picks. Okay. And I'm going to just casually check to see where other guys landed. If you would have told me, what would you be more shocked by? Alaric Jackson not getting drafted, or Davion Nixon sliding all the way to the 5th round? I think, it is very, very close what that answer is. I think they are within a breath of each other. Ultimately, though, I could envision a path easier to Davion Nixon sliding to the 5th round, versus Alaric Jackson not getting drafted at all. Okay, his grade was the 3rd highest on this Iowa team on NFL, 5.87. In other places, it was higher. Guys, this is a guy that after his sophomore year, redshirt sophomore year, was considered by many places a higher caliber prospect than Tristan Wirfs. And I don't really know what changed. It's not as though the guy wasn't good. He was. He was a first-team All-Big Ten selection. Was he as dominant as he could have been in the weight room or on the field? Not necessarily. Okay. I can think of Brandon Sheriff and Tristan Wirfs and guys like that, and I can think of moments that were dominant. Alaric Jackson, I can't think of that so much. But so much as to not be drafted, it's shocking. It's shocking to me. The guy started since his redshirt freshman year, meaning Alaric Jackson has played in like 40 plus games at left tackle. Now, I read some of the comments, or not necessarily the comments, but the evaluation of his game. And it's kind of what I just said. You know, there isn't the dominant stuff that you would expect. Like, I'll give you an example. Tyler Linderbaum is going to go first round. He has the dominant stuff that you expect. There's already 3 or 4 moments in my head that I can think of. Also in the weight room, he's killing it. Okay, so there's both sides. There's on the field and the weight room. Because the weight room to me is not everything. But apparently for Alaric Jackson, his feet work, as Shaq would say, or footwork, in 2019 and 20 was awful. But that is just unbelievably shocking to me, considering that this guy started so many games, was considered a top 10 pick by some places at certain points in his career. It's shocking to me. It is shocking that he did not get drafted. Quite frankly, once it got to the 5th round and he wasn't drafted, or it was still kind of shocking. The guy has 42 career starts at left tackle. 42 career starts. What makes it worse is that a guy out of Nebraska, who is not currently known for putting offensive linemen into the NFL, like Iowa is, has a guy named Matt Farniok who underperformed by miles at Nebraska and gets drafted over Alaric Jackson. It's shocking. It's shocking. That is more shocking to me than Davion Nixon falling to the 5th round. Now, okay, outside of that, football is a meritocracy. If Alaric Jackson deserves to be on a roster, he'll make one. It doesn't matter whether he got drafted or not. He will make it. That's the beauty of football. If he is good enough, he'll make a dang roster. And we've seen that with plenty of Iowa guys, let alone a guy who had a career like Alaric Jackson at Iowa. Brandon Smith signs with the Dallas Cowboys. I think that's pretty good. Let's see where Alaric Jackson went. And then there was 2 long snappers that went in the 6th round over Alaric Jackson. You're telling me that you couldn't get those long snappers in free agency over Alaric Jackson, a possible starter on your O-line? It's shocking to me, guys. It is. I'm not saying that Alaric Jackson is going to be a star. I'm not saying that. I think it wouldn't shock me, though, if he becomes an 8-year starter at guard or tackle. That wouldn't shock me at all. The guy has 42 starts in the Big Frickin' 10. Anyways, happy for Chauncey Golston. The Iowa defensive line continues to surge. Kelvin Bell is doing a phenomenal job for the Hawkeyes. Since he took over for Reese Morgan, legendary coach Reese Morgan, he's done a great job. So Brandon Smith goes to the Cowboys. Jack Heflin is with the Packers. Let's see here. I'm trying to see where Alaric Jackson is going. Let's see. By the way, Ferentz had high praise for Gavin Williams. I've been telling you guys, I've been seeing stuff on running back out of Iowa fans saying that he's no good. Guys, I mean, the guy was getting recruited hard. He's good, and he's going to likely play. He's going to be on the heels of Ivory Kelly Martin this year, and I fully expect him. I expect this upcoming year for Iowa to be very much like the Jordan Kansiri, LaShawn Daniels, and Akram Wadley year, where the only difference is LaShawn Daniels was the number one guy then, and in my opinion, Tyler Goodson is the number one guy by more of a distance than LaShawn Daniels was. That's the bigger difference. But make no mistake, Iowa is very healthy at the running back position right now, and I've been saying to you guys that Gavin Williams is a guy to look out for. I'm just seeing. Okay, Alaric Jackson goes to the Rams. I'm happy about that. You know, Austin Blythe made it there, and you know, Sean McVay is a good coach, so at least that happened. I'm happy about that. Overall, okay. I said that the biggest thing that I probably said was that the NFL draft, the actual draft, a big portion of it, you know, there's, in my opinion, at minimum, there's 30% that is based on your on-field performance. The rest is based on your performance / how you do in the competition between the one big long competition between the end of the season and the NFL draft. And I think Davion Nixon did not dominate there. That's why he slid. I think Golston did well, and I think that's why he went in the third round. Overall, the defensive line for Iowa, you know, you have Anthony Nelson being drafted, you know, in top 3 rounds, I believe, or 4. You have AJ Epinesa going in the 2nd round. You have Chauncey Golston now being drafted. The 3 starting defensive ends back to back have been drafted, and Parker Hesse is now a tight end for the Tennessee Titans. Defensive line is doing great. Last but not least, very happy for Nick Nieman. You know, it does not surprise me. On the NHA podcast, guys, I was saying over and over and over again that Nick Nieman, I could absolutely see it, considering his brother, what his brother was able to do. And quite frankly, his brother, in my opinion, just got overshadowed by Josie Jewell. Nick Nieman, I could see it all day long, and he got drafted. I'm happy for him. I fully expect him to do well with the Chargers. It is a great day for Iowa Iowa wide receiver room, having a wide receiver drafted in the 5th round. That is the highest wide receiver pick since, I believe, probably Tim Dwight. It may even be more than that. I don't know when the highest wide receiver draft pick is for Iowa. Kevin Casper went in the 6th round. I don't know what the highest wide receiver draft pick is for the Hawkeyes. If I had to guess, going through my history, Marvin McNutt went in the 7th round. And before that, all I can think of is Kevin Casper, Tim Dwight, and then guys before that. It may probably be the highest since 1998. Let's see where Tim Dwight went. And if you think about it, Tim Dwight and Amir Smith Marcette are very, very similar players. Round 4. So, yep, I was correct. Timmy Dwight. That is, he went in the 4th round. So that is the highest wide receiver draft pick for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Or Amir Smith Marcette is the highest wide receiver draft pick in 20 plus years. It's 2021. Tim Dwight got drafted in 1998. So good for him. You know, I'm going to look at this. Iowa, let's look at this because I want to make sure it's Tim Dwight. We're going to look at 1997. Well, let's just look at 1998 and then go from there. See if there's a guy that got drafted in the 5th round after that. So we know Tim Dwight. Okay. And then also, guys, just while I'm doing this, 4 Iowa Hawkeyes being drafted is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. 21 guys have been drafted since 2016. All right, let's look at 1999. Let's go to 2000. 2000. Okay. Again, still. Okay, this is Kevin Casper. If this is it, then I'm correct. 6th round. Let's see if 2001, you know, I may be incorrect here. You got Liddell Batts. Khalil Hill went 6th round. That's it. I'm 99.9% sure. So congratulations to Kelton Copeland, the Iowa wide receiver room in 4 years, which is the entire recruiting cycle of Amir Smith Marcette. The Iowa wide receiver room has completely been transformed. I mean, completely. It is not only solid at the top with playmakers at the top. It is deep. It is versatile. It is everything you would ask in a wide receiver room. And that is good news. All right, that's it. All right, guys. Highlights. Amir Smith Marcette being the highest Iowa draft pick since Tim Dwight in 1997. That's 20 plus years. Very shocking. It's more shocking to me that Alaric Jackson did not get drafted, more so than Davion Nixon falling to the 5th round. Chauncey Golston was the first Iowa Hawkeye taken off the board in the 3rd round. And then it went Amir Smith Marcette, followed by Davion Nixon, followed by Nick Nieman. Those are the 4 guys to be drafted. Alaric Jackson is going to the LA Rams. Brandon Smith is going to the Dallas Cowboys. Jack Heflin is going to the Green Bay Packers. Let me see if I can find where Sean Byer is going. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think it's going to be very hard for Xavier Nwankpa, the number 1 rated player in the state of Iowa, not to go to Iowa. I think that there are great offers around him, but especially if Iowa has the season that they are capable of, I think it will be very hard for him not to, especially when Phil Parker puts on the full court press. I do not see anything on Sean Byer. So I'm going to end it there. All right, guys. If you want to support the website 247hawkeye.com or myself, go to 247hawkeye.com and just go to the PayPal and smash a donation in there. It's more appreciated than you realize. I promise you guys that the videos continue to grow, which shows that you guys are enjoying this content. I love it. I love it. I love it. Be sure that the biggest thing, if you can't donate, and I understand, the biggest thing you can do is share the content. And I'm telling you guys, Iowa content is good. The more Iowa content, the better. So thank you guys so much. Be sure to share the content. The best place to follow me is Facebook, Nolan Hawkeye Anthony, the 247hawkeye.com. And then obviously, YouTube, Nolan Hawkeye Anthony, Twitter and Parler at 247 Hawkeye, and Instagram at official 247hawkeye.com page. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me. Be sure to listen to the NHA podcast. Donate if you can. Support me, support the channel, support the website. If you can't, be sure to subscribe and share the video. I was happy to do this. It is awesome that 4 Iowa Hawkeyes get drafted, making it 36 guys currently in the NFL from the Iowa Hawkeyes, and 21 Iowa Hawkeyes drafted since 2016. All right, y'all. Love y'all. And remember, DBAT, don't be a pussy willow, and facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. All right, y'all. Kisses. Bye.